One of the benefits of Astras is being able to perform injections in the thoracic spine. This is an area of the body that is prone to more complications with spine procedures. Would you mind going through a transfemoral procedure for the thoracic spine?
The thoracic transfemoral has additional possible complications. You have the lung in the way. You can see here on our picture, there's both an AP and an oblique view of the middle of the thoracic spine.
So you have ribs and all of this space here, this is lung space.
That's lung space. In addition, you have a spinal cord in the thoracic spine, and that's something that wasn't in the lumbar spine as it ends around L1. Additionally, you have a lot of vasculature in the cervical and thoracic spine. So 3 significant possible complications can occur. So this is a much more high-risk area than the lumbar spine. And getting comfortable doing these procedures is going to take time. And understanding what are your safety views and safety considerations and knowing how to avoid the complications takes practice and understanding what your anatomy looks like on an image. And that's one way we can really help practice on this model.
So not only are you able to see the anatomy on the X-ray screen, but you can actually see if the needle tip is in the lung field by directly observing with the eye.
So on our picture by John, there's an AP view and then there's a oblique view.
This is the AP, this is the oblique.
On the oblique, it's a little more challenging to do a transforaminal in the thoracic spine because you have the ribs coming around and connecting to the spine. Here you'll see an area. There's the superior articulating process and you have the head of the rib. And in between those 2 spaces, there's a small square.
Right here.
And that square is essentially the retrodiscal space. So in the thoracic spine, the most common type of transforaminal procedure is a retrodiscal transforaminal. And again, this is a challenging setup. You have to tilt and oblique to get the end plates aligned of your vertebrae, and you have to find that very small gap. All right, so my needle appears to be in position on my screen. You can see on the model where your needle is as well. So you can actually look over the needle. You can see how deep am I? Where's my lung? Where's my rib? And that can really help you get comfortable with what your anatomy is. You can't see it on a person, but you can definitely see it here. We go AP. So this model's unique. This is a straight up and down AP, but this guy has a dextroscoliosis, so his spine is rotated. In order to get a proper AP view, I'm going to have to rotate the C-arm more towards me.
Which is something that you would often see in a live scenario.
So one thing I can tell right away on that picture is that I'm not deep enough. Where I want is my needle to be at the spine, at the level of the pedicle, at the mid-pedicular line. And I can see I'm about a ½ inch away from that. Which is good. It's good to learn. Where's my needle? Because I'm right over top of the rib, so I know I'm not in the lung, because I would have to go through the rib to get to the lung. So I can see I'm in a safe position with my needle. I'm just not quite deep enough yet. And I can take a look at the model itself to see where is my needle. And by looking closely at the model, I can see I'm not quite deep enough. So I'm going to make a small adjustment, take another picture. So I simply push the needle a little bit deeper, and sure enough, I'm right there just above the pedicle at the retrodiscal transforaminal space. So at this point, my needle looks in great position. I'm very safe. I'm above the rib. I'm at the pedicle. I could take a lateral view to confirm my depth, make sure I'm not too deep. I could do another oblique view to see where did I end up. There's any number of things I could do to learn depending on how comfortable I am with this procedure.
And the nice thing about Astras is that you can practice performing this specific procedure an endless number of times before you ever practice on a live person.
So I know when I was training, there were certain procedures I was very comfortable with. I was very adept at, and certain ones I was not. So being able to go to that specific challenge for me and practice it over and over would have made a big difference in my training phase.